All right, kids, how are you? We just had our call, and I'm going to get this video done so you have it in your hands. And there goes the mailman. All right, so 1929, stock market crashes. This guy, Herbert Hoover, was president 1929, 1930, 31, and 32. He tries but is unsuccessful at helping America turn around the negative economy. And the American people almost unanimously elect this guy. Where are you? There we go. FDR to be president. FDR won in what's called a landslide. Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So if you click here, you'll see Roosevelt wins on November 6th, 1932. The American people decide in a landslide to make FDR president. You know, just so you know, this landslide means it's like totally out of whack. It's a totally lopsided victory. He had 472. I've written down over here 472 electoral votes. Just for comparison, there's only 5 elections that were more lopsided than this one. One happens to be in 36 when FDR was elected president just as the war was getting going. But the granddaddy of them all is Ronald Reagan in 1980, won with 525 electoral votes. That is the most ever. And by comparison, I have it written down, so I'm looking over here. By comparison, Obama had the most he ever got was 365 votes, and then Trump got 304 electoral votes in his victory in 2016. So Roosevelt says, the American people want me to do whatever I can to fix this economy. And so what he does, he creates something called the New Deal. Now, the New Deal is kind of he stole the idea a little bit from his uncle, Teddy Roosevelt, who is, by the way, the best president we've ever had. But he stole it from Teddy Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt had a program called the Square Deal. He wanted Americans to have a square deal. And so Teddy Roosevelt, inspiring his nephew, twice removed, 3 times over, down there on the family tree, whatever, he inspired him. So FDR picked up the New Deal. Now, what you're going to do is one simple thing and one little project. So the simple thing you're going to do to explore the New Deal, actually, let me just hit pause for a second. I wanted to show you something, is that when FDR was elected president, so here's FDR had his inauguration in 1933. You'll see in the top right-hand corner there, March 4th, 33. This is a point. He had polio. Let me hit pause here for a second. He had polio, and he was unable to stand. They never show him with his wheelchair. They never show him on his crutches. But I assure you, he could not walk. The only way they got him to stand at these things was they put him in these very rigid, very painful braces that literally stood him up like he was some kind of, like a rag doll. But he stood there and he delivered his speech. And the message of his speech to the American people was a message of hope.
So first of all, let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
And that was what he was really trying to say to the American people, that it's not a thing, it's not a war or a plague or a foreign oppressor that's hurting our economy. It's just fear. And if we can get over that fear, if we can get beyond the fear of how bad things are, this fear that is really only in our heads, then we can get forward and address the problems we need to address. So the only thing we have to fear is fear itself, is a very, very famous line, one of the most famous lines ever, said by an American president, and it was said during his inauguration. So he's trying to inspire Americans, but to literally help Americans, he actually creates jobs that puts them to work. Now, when you watch this little video here, this little video will help you understand the New Deal, the purpose of the New Deal, the attempts of the New Deal to help provide relief for workers, to help repair the economy, to help reform the banking system that fell apart as a result of 1929 relief, reform, and to help the economy recover. All right, so you're going to go through that here, and then it's going to take you into a website. It's going to ask you to jump over to this website here. This is a really cool website. I'm going to move my little video over here. All right, that shows you all these New Deal plans. If you look at this map, for example, every little dot on this map is showing you where some New Deal project happened. In fact, if you zoom all the way in on Port Chester, you will see there's several in Port Chester, one of which you can find in the post office. So these New Deal programs were designed to get people back to work, but not just working people per se, like shovels and things like that, but also artists. And so there was a lot of New Deal programs that were out there that were art-based, that he asked out-of-work artists, and then the government paid these out-of-work artists to create murals and to create sculptures around America to, A, get them paid, but B, to use them at least to help beautify America. So you'll see they're on here. All right, so you're going to go into this, and if you go into New Deal sites and choose down to projects by New Deal agencies right here, click on that. And it brings you to all these agencies. Your project, what you're going to do is you're going to choose one agency, and they're going to create a mini poster about that agency. So using this website, using this right here, projects by agency, you'll click your agency. You'll also want to find out more about your agency. So you can go on New Deal. Yeah, New Deal programs right here. If you see it right there, click on that. And this gives you roughly one-page summaries about each program. All right, so all the programs, all the agencies associated with the program. And if you scroll down, you'll see they're all just kind of listed here. Now, what you're going to do is choose one, and you're going to complete this mini poster. You're going to put the title of your program up top. You're going to put whether it was a relief, a recovery, or a reform program. You're going to in words describe the program. That's going to come from one of these sheets right here. So, for example, if I chose the Civilian Conservation Corps, I'm going to read about the Civilian Conservation Corps as soon as it pops up. I'm going to read about the Civilian Conservation Corps and summarize right here in this box whom it was intended to help, maybe where and how, or which industry it was trying to reform. Down here, you're going to put a logo for your program down here, and you have to look that up. But the CCC definitely has a logo. If I go over to the Googler and I Google up Civilian Conservation Corps, you're going to see there's their logo right there. So I can click on the logo. I'm going to right click and copy. And it's actually, you see down here, here's WPA. Let's go back to that. You'll see a bunch of the logos are down there. The WPA is down there. I think the Tennessee Valley Association was down there. All right. The CWA, the PWA, these are all what they call the alphabet soup of New Deal programs. So you're going to put a logo on there. In the middle, then you're going to find a picture that you can either use this website here, or you can use a search of your own to find a picture that represents the program. You have to be careful in your research. If you dial up CCC and return a picture that is taken in 1974, that's not addressing the issue. It has to be happening during the New Deal, which is between 1933 and it will say 1953. All right, the New Deal programs are in place during that whole 20-year period. So there's your picture. Over here, you're going to put in information about the picture, describe the picture. It says it right there what you're supposed to do. And finally, its relevance in 2020. If it was a bridge built by the WPA in the 1930s and we use that bridge today, clearly explain this is how this helps. The SEC helped preserve banking. But be specific about how this particular program, this agency you chose, helps you today. All right, and that is the assignment. This is due on Wednesday. We will possibly have a call tomorrow. You have locker cleanups coming up tomorrow and Wednesday. And there myself on Wednesday, and that's it. All right, talk to you soon.